Hello everybody, it's vanburman here, and welcome to what is technically my second podcast. It's the first one with just me talking. Sometimes obviously I'll have guests on and stuff, and we'll be more talking obviously game related stuff. It doesn't have to be all the time, but when I generally have people on, that is pretty much what it's going to be. I've also decided to go for the no video in the background, as you remember from if you've seen the first episode with me and the Elusive Man. The videos which I do myself won't have any video in, but obviously my guests do get quite a lot of say in how the show is presented, just because, it's sort of me inviting them on, so I do have to accommodate, of course. And during this series I thought I wouldn't talk just all about games. It's obviously going to be mainly about games, because that is what I do and film and think about most of the time, especially when it comes to obviously my YouTube stuff. So I can actually venture into some other topics. Obviously I will veer off, and I'm sure I'll talk about games a lot as well. So the one I wanted to start off with, seeing as it's the first one by myself, is I thought I might discuss the meaning of life, just because it's a very good place to start off, I believe. And I guess the first thing to say is that the meaning of life is different to everyone, and it does relate a lot to games as well. I mean, for example, I think that all good games all good games with a good story give that character's life a meaning. I mean, for example, you can take, I always use Final Fantasy as a good example, because they do have good examples. I mean, if you take Final Fantasy X, Tidus or Tidus, however you want to pronounce it, the meaning of his life was to to save people, to help Yuna on her quest, which then of course uncovered the whole Yevon thing, and and I guess basically in a lot of Final Fantasies it's save the world. That is the meaning of their life, their game character life. In terms of the meaning for like my game that I'm making, for example, a lot of my main characters are all predetermined. They've got a predetermined destiny, I guess, and that is the meaning of their life. But other things sometimes in games, obviously they always have to discover what that is. I mean, it's very rare. I mean, obviously at the start of my game, or in the demo of my game, there is the bit where he obviously has a flashback to his father, and that does sort of say that actually this has been in the pipeline for a while. His father knew, he knew when he was younger, and obviously there will be certain aspects that he has to discover, but generally you can see the path that he's going down. Whereas other people, and especially in real life, it's not quite as obvious, obviously. Obviously. Because, we all have to find out what it is. I mean, if we're talking biologically speaking, I guess it's find a mate and have children. Which, yeah, okay, that is, definitely part of the meaning of life. I mean, and I know that it's one of the things for me, find someone that I want to be with and have a family with them. That is a key aspect to what I believe is part of the meaning of my life. But obviously that's not for everyone, and they do have to go and find it themselves. You probably can't find it just by playing video games and living other people's meanings, but you can definitely find your own. It just sometimes takes a lot of work trying to find it, or no work at all, and it just falls in your lap. But that's how it goes. The meaning of life is, there is no answer, really. And I've not read or seen Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and I'm not going to quote their I can't remember what number it was, actually, the number of the meaning of life in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, but that's not the answer either. So unless you want that to be your answer, then you can stick that number in your lottery numbers every week and see if that happens. But then again, winning the lottery is not the meaning of life either. So, but I mean, this is just sort of the things that I wanted to talk about in my podcast. I know it's not been a very long one, just because I've run out of things and analogies to relate it to, without obviously going into detail about a particular game, or giving away too much from my own game and my thoughts on how they're going to develop. But please do feel free to leave any comments about any other future suggestions or future topics which I can discuss. I'll come up with some anyway myself, but if there's anything specific that you would like to hear or see, obviously probably not see because it's a podcast. So yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there. But I hope you've enjoyed the podcast. I'm not sure how often these will come out. I'll be doing them as I come up with different topics and stuff. So that's pretty much what I'm limited to. And I'll see you next time. And it's goodbye.